progress.
Okay, good morning, friends. We're continuing Mishna Berura Daf Hashavua. We're learning Siman Samach Aleph, Sif Chaf Daled. Sif Chaf Daled. Tzarech likrois Krias Shema bata'amim k'may shem b'Torah. One is required to say Shema with the cantillation notes. One is supposed to Lein the Krias Shema, which is an interesting halacha. It means the Shulchan Aruch is saying you need to, you should. Shulchan Aruch is saying you should. Now, this comes from Rabbeinu Yoina in Parak Beis of Brachos, based on the Gemara Pesachim and Daf Nun Vav Haga. Avaloi nagu kein b'medinas elu. In Poland, we don't do this. Nevertheless, those who are punctilious, they're machmer. But it's not the custom where we live. It says Mishna Berura Kain. So it's not the minhag to lein it, but one should pause and interrupt where they're supposed to, based on the context, so that what you're saying has meaning to it. Not just in other words, in other words, you should pause and read it in a way where your words have meaning. Therefore, you should read it slowly. Otherwise, if you just read it, run through it, then it changes the meaning. Now that's very interesting, because later on, by Hilchos Krias HaTorah, we know that if you make a melech into a mashares or vice versa, you have to go back. Even by Krias HaTorah, if you run over a tipcha, you have to go back. So it sounds like, even though in Krias Shema you don't have to sing it as a tipcha, but you do have to pause. But if you don't articulate the words where a nasnachta is a stop or a zakev katan is a stop, it could be an issue. Okay? Now, the medaktikin are machmer, uvad sheyichaven. Now, some people, they lein it, but they have absolutely no kavana for what they're saying. So it's not enough to lein it. The ikar is to have the kavana of the meaning of the words. Someone who's not used to leining, the song could disturb the kavana. Sort of reminds me of what Rav Miller writes about his experiences in the Yom Naram in Slabodka. He would write that in Slabodka they did not sing. Obviously, they didn't sing Kalbach to Kedusha in Slabodka. But moreover, there was no Nusach HaTfilah. There was no Umavir Yahayim Umehevi Lahila Umavdil. No, this is how they said it. Umavir Yoim Umevi. Because in Slabodka they held a nigun distracts from kavana. Loimi boy, when you're, let's say, singing Kaddish, what's Mimka imcha malke. Nobody's thinking about the meaning of the words Mimka imcha. They're thinking about the fact, the Chazan chapped that after October 7th, everyone says Achenu, so he's singing Achenu from Mimka imcha. So nobody's thinking about the meaning of the words. They're thinking about why the Chazan picked this nigun, and now they're thinking about, so it's, in a way, it's distracting. A tune that's not connected to the words is not really ideal. But what could we do? But in Slabodka, they didn't use Nusach HaTfilah either. They held it takes away from the focus of the meaning of the words. Anyway, so that's what the Mishna Berura is saying. Don't get carried away with the tune, because it could be distracting. Siv Chafei. Kishayomer ukshartam la'ois al yadecha yemashmesh v'ton shal yad. When you say the words ukshartam la'ois al yadecha, you should handle the arm tefillin. When you say v'hayula taitafos beineinecha, you should feel the shalroish. Now it doesn't say you should kiss it. It doesn't say you should kiss the shal yad shor. It doesn't say you should kiss your hand. So when you say ukshartam V'hayula taitafais you're mashmish the tone. We say risam you're mashmish the two tzitzis. V'ayin la'el b'simin chavdalad sifdalad. Says the Mishna Berura, Shiurim ukshar tam la'os v'chein beParsha shniya kishamazker inyan tefillin tzarich lamashmesh. Also, those who put on tefillin before Berachas HaShachar, when you say Oiter Yisrael b'Sefara, there are those who are medakdik to be mamashmish tefillin shel yad v'shel rosh. Now, it's not enough to be Yamashmesh. Kaf HaChaim writes, it should not be done mitzvahs anoshim melumada, but rather in order to remember the tefillin and what it says in it. So the question is, do you need to get up and be yamashmesh in the mezuzah when you say uchsavtem al mezuzah es beisecha u'visharecha? I mean, you're supposed to be yamashmesh in the tefillin, you're supposed to be yamashmesh in the tzitzis. What about the mezuzah? It's a good question, right? It says the Beis Yosef brings in the name of Shas Joseph that you don't have to. Only something which you're wearing and is mezuman lefanav, not something that's on the wall. Also, the reason why you're mashmish b'tzitzis is because it says urisam I to come to zechira, and tefillin you're mashmish to be zaras in them, but not by mezuzah. Also, tefillin is a chayvas haguf. Tzitzis, Shas Rashbash says, is a chayvas haguf. Not really. It's a chayvas haguf only if you're wearing a beged of daled kampas, but it's not like tefillin, which is a chayvas habayis. If you want to know about kissing, we discussed that in a Wednesday night share. Ayin Sham. Okay. Sif Chavav. Yesh nagin likros Krias Shema b'kol. Some have a custom to say Krias Shema aloud. V'yesh nagin likros b'lachar. Some say it quietly. Hagam mikol makom yamru pasuk rishon b'kol. Whatever your custom is, you should say the first pasuk out loud. V'chei noyagin, and that is the custom. Says the Mishna Berura, Yesh Nagim Le'inyanim Yotze b'Kriyas Shema Ayidei Acher Shechaven Loitziyai. Could someone be moitzi you in Kriyas Shema? Why not? Why not? What's the shaila? Shemei Koina. Why would you not be yotze if someone is moitzi you? So that's nice. He's saying the words for me, but who's mekabel o malchus shamayim? I guess the listener is. So I even magin avam pri magadim v'rav achrim some the yotze the most achrim so you're yotze. What if the one who's saying it was already yotze? Why not? Why don't we say arvos? I would say yes, but Shas Tshuvas Binyan Shloim, it says it depends on the machlokes that the Torah brings the Gabe Kiddush, where the Mekadesh was ready Yotzei, could he be Moitzi others? According to the poskim, then by Krias Shema also. Why would anybody argue? Why would anybody say that you can't be Moitzi someone in Krias Shema? So the Pri Chadash brings, and the Pri Megadim brings, in the name of Maram al Shakar, the mitzvah's Krias Shema is a mitzvah of Kriya and not Shmiya, because it says V'dibarta bam. So what? Why don't we say Shoymea ke'oina? Unless it's like you said it, but Kriya is different than Dibor. Maybe Kriya is different than Dibor. Not sure. I don't really hear why that would be a reason not that you can't be mitzvah someone. The Gra in the Imrei Noya brings that Krias Shema is Kabbalas al Malchus Shamayim. Everyone has to do it themselves. The mitzvah is Kabbalas Malchus Shamayim. So I am a Kabbal Malchus Shamayim. I want you to say it for me.
Megillah, you say Mikra Megillah and you can still be mitzvah.
Correct. You're saying that by Megillah, the mitzvah is to read it. Yeah, that's a good point. The mitzvah of Megillah is also likrais, and you could be mitzi someone. So I'm not sure what this svara, the Pri Megadim and the Pri Chadash is. Okay. Most achronim though hold you could be yotzei, and it's better than Hirur. The Hirur lav kedibur dami mashein kamazed shemei ka'ina. Yeah, I don't really hear why that should be. The svara of Omach Shamayim, maybe I could hear that. You can't be moitzi me and Makabel Omach Shamayim, but why can't I be Makabel Omach Shamayim and you be moitzi me in the Krias Shabbai?
Let's say I didn't say anything then. So that Rebbe's saying like, okay, so it's all in my mind. I have kavana of Omach Shamayim and then I'm yotzei Krias Shema.
No. You have to come to Kabbalas Omach Shamayim mitoch HaKriya.
So that's why. Because there's no way that someone could be kairi something and I come to that.
Why?
And I come to that.
Why? I am coming to it. I'm thinking I'm a Kabbalah Omach Shamayim through your Kriya, which is considered like my Kriya.
But thinking is not the mitzvah. It's thinking Ayidei Dibur.
It is. I was Ayidei Dibur because Shemei Ka'ina. That's like I said it. It has to be, yeah.
I don't know.
You hear a difference? Okay.
I guess.
V'kasav ha'ilas tamid. V'nir d'davka b'mevin halashain. That Shemei Ka'ina will only work if you understand it. V'afilu b'lashon ha'kodesh ba'ina and davka sheyavin ha'shemei. Ayin b'sim kuf tzadi gimel siv aleph. That if you're going to use Shemei Ka'ina, you better understand Hebrew. If you say it yourself, you don't have to understand it. But if someone is being moitzi you, you do have to understand it. Why would that be? Why should that be? The Dirshu brings that by Berchas Hamazon, the minhag is you could be moitzi someone even if you don't understand it. Okay, very interesting. Now, only these restrictions are only an individual being moitzi an individual. An individual being moitzi a tzibur, a yachid ha-moitzi a shnayim, or one person being moitzi two people, then then they could be moitzi sound even if the listeners don't understand Lashon HaKodesh. That's, we would have to work. What would the svara be that Shemei Ka'ina, this we have in many instances, that Shemei Ka'ina works more ideally if there's a tzibur. If there's only one and one, it's more restrictive Shemei Ka'ina. So here's one example of that perhaps you have to be able to understand Lashon HaKodesh. But it seems like this is the shita of the Shiur Knesses Hagdoila. I'm sorry. Simply, it does seem like you could use Shemei Ka'ina by Kriya Shema, according to most Achronim. Okay, Rabbi, so we're going to hold it over here. Have a good day, everyone.